Hello everyone, good evening, welcome to the penultimate round of the ABS Tier 1 season. We are here in the wonderful Imola at the Autodromo Enzo Edino Ferrari, like I said, for the penultimate round of this ABS season, where we could have our champion crowned today. And the only champion that could possibly be crowned today is FH. He just needs to pretty much avoid being outscored at all by Fox, and he will overcome his FRT teammates to become the champion. This evening, I'm joined by a young man that needs no introduction. He goes by the name of PSR Jish. How are you doing today? Welcome back.
Hello, Joseph. Yeah, it's great to be back from last time I think I commentated over here. It was a French Grand Prix. Thank you for that very kind introduction. But yeah, great to be back around the Imola circuit. Very, very famous for a number of reasons, off the track and on the track. Absolutely one of the most classics in F1. So it's great to be here. And at very high risk, obviously the championship up for grabs for FH444 tonight. If he can practically just finish in front of Fox tonight, he will be the champion, and that is that for him right now. 18 drivers, on the field, ready to give it their all. So let's have a look and hope for another great ABS races. Airgrass puts it on pole position on the mediums earlier on.
Absolutely, that is the benchmark of 15.0. Bit of a weather report. We're expecting no rain in this qualifying session, but there is going to be some rain lingering towards the back end of the Grand Prix. So FRT Heaven at the moment, pipping FRT Edgars. Obviously, tyre difference there, of course. There are a lot of FRT drivers, as you all know, and there is another one for you. The only 3 times on the board, of course, all set by FRT drivers. Fox needs to just beat FH today to really have any hope of winning the championship. If FH goes on to win his second race of the season, of course, it's game over. He wins the championship. And, well, it's as simple as that, really. I know you, you're famous around here now, SRC and all that. You've obviously had the privilege of watching FH. He's been a bit, I don't know, frustrated with his just lack of result, really, because his pace has just been phenomenal recently. He's really upped his consistency. So what do you have to say about this talent?
Yeah, obviously FH is definitely absolutely growing on the Xbox platform. He's definitely showing he is one of the best on the platform in that SRC. Just very unfortunate at Canada to not get a great result. He's on for top 10, top 8 even, but just a couple of incidents further up the field in a tight battle with one of the NRX drivers, I believe. I can't really remember off the top of my head, but yeah, it was just unfortunate how he picked up all that. But in ABS, he's been absolutely on the boil. Looking at the past results, been absolutely very consistent, almost on the podium every single race. So it's great to see him up there and definitely show his talent absolutely shine. He just needs no introduction. I like to call him the Incredible Irishman, so hopefully he can be incredible tonight at Imola.
I like that. I might nab that for future. I love that. The Incredible Irishman. But yeah, as you said, just looking at these results, it has been a real turn, because at the start of the season, it was Fox putting in the consistent top 6s. But, you know, that has swung ever since the Hungary and Belgium rounds, and it's FH being pumping in consistent top 4s and above. He's got 3 podiums in his last 5 races. That includes a first place, a second place, and a third place. So, you know, that is why he is on the verge of being crowned ABS Tier 1 champion this evening. And I know him and championships have never really gone well in the same sentence, but this is his, you know, perhaps best ever chance, in my opinion. And it'll be a really credible championship for him, because the talent this season, we've seen drivers come in and out. Yeah, it's been a real pleasure to watch. As he goes second there, as we can see. Only 3/100ths of a second behind Fox. Fine margins we're talking in this fight for the championship. It's just 2 days to go, as we all know, until the titanic finale between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. They're not quite level on points here, but it's the season for championship deciders, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. As FH does put it into P2 just a couple of thousandths even slower than his title rival Better Fox. That top three absolutely separated by almost nothing, less than a tenth of a second separating the top three of a fully FRT line out in the top three of Better Fox. Top in the standings with FH444 in second and Heaven in the top three. Great to see him up. There's one of the Mercedes, is that TRT Verlies, I believe, just prepping his lap. Yes, it is. Maybe just coming back into the pits, and he does. Next is one of the Ferraris, this V2 Combat, just prepping one of his laps. TRT Evan is not on the lap, on a lap. He's in the pit lane. That's FH444 behind him, prepping a lap, and also Vince, I believe that's how you spell it. I apologise if I've absolutely butchered that, but anyway, we'll continue. V2 Combat out there just starting his first flying lap on the soft compound tyres in the Ferrari. Only two drivers on the mediums. That's Alan and Verlies on the mediums, which is interesting to see. So maybe trying something different, maybe trying to go longer into the races. V2 Combat absolutely sending it through turns 1 and 2 through Tamburello and into the Villeneuve left and into the right. Really complex corners, but it's very, very good if you get it right. Now in through the next left-hander up towards Piratella. What am I saying? That's not Piratella, I believe. I think I've got absolutely the wrong circuit, but into the next left-hander. I believe it is Piratella. I might be right there.
Turn 9, Piratella.
Yes,
right.
That is right. Coming into Aquamiller Ali then. Into the next right, the double right-hander, very easy to lose the car just a little bit off the apex. Going into the entrance, but it will make chance. But yeah, it's got a little bit of traffic into the right, into the left, but that's an invalidation. Yeah, a little bit too much curb, and the traffic maybe taking them off a little bit. That's throwing the needle at the top for V2 Combat.
Yeah, sticking it through the middle of the two AlphaTauris there. Wouldn't be surprised if he just got put off by them. But back to Bolero Fox, who is heading up towards turn 14 and 15. The Variante outer chicane. He gets a bit wide on the exit, but he's kept it valid and now plunges down the hill. There's a small right-hand kink of 16 before you go into turn 17 and 18. Ravazza then, important final corner, sets you up for the run to the line, which isn't very long. Takes the shortest route there. Is he going to beat his previous best? Oh, yes, he does. That's a really, really strong final sector, and he's found 1.5 tenths on his previous best. Pressure now for FH, who is on an outlap.
Yeah, definitely a great lap from Bella Fox, so about 2 tenths quicker, just under 2 tenths quicker than FH before us. Mac, 7,000 slower than Bella Fox. Haas drivers are absolutely on the limit today. Absolutely 7,000 between those two. They're definitely on the pace today with PSR Mac. Goes up into second. If I can actually try and see what he did, it was a 14.467 to Bella Fox's 4.59. That's very tight margin between the Haas drivers. They'll be looking good to add some more points to the constructors. And that is FH, what am I saying? FRT the Zero Franic on pole position. Franic with a 14.092. Where on earth did that come from?
I'm not sure, but he replied to a tweet I put out just prior to this starting, and he was like, well, let me actually quote what he said. What did he say? He said, expect some young pole to spoil the party. And the young pole is doing just that at the moment as Edgars goes up to P2, and there's a bit of a battle going on here as Evan, actually, no, I take that completely back, they're teammates of course. That is Evan giving FH a vital slipstream in the hunt for this championship as he makes his way through turn 4. Next up is turn 5 and 6, the Variante Villeneuve downshift, and then 2 more going into the right-hander, turn 7. Tozer, where in the wet conditions, which we are likely to see later, we saw that Lewis Hamilton incident right before that George Russell and Valtteri Bottas crash. So there is room for chaos around this, I guess you could argue, fairly new circuit once again to Formula 1. We've never really seen modern cars around here prior to last year. It's a completely different ball game as FH heads towards Variante Outer. He has 2 tenths on his previous best so far, which as it stands could well beat Bolero Fox, which is going to be his main priority. Seeing the lap times from Franek and Edgars there, that is going to be so difficult to match. So his real aim, beating his championship rival in the Haas, who wants to put it in front of both Haases as FH crosses the line, and he does just that, and he just misses out on the front row by, what is that, 9/1000ths of a second. Great lap from FH, benefited from the slipstream, no denying, but he kept finding time throughout the lap, and that was what was important.
Yeah, definitely so. FX Dribble 4 really putting it some good times there, just about 2/10 slower than Franek, who has done an absolutely masterclass of a lap there to put it into P1 14.092. Could we see a 13 maybe on the horizon? That'd be absolutely incredible if we did. Much up towards the esports pace if we did, and definitely raising some questions to ERL Franek on how he's not in the top dogs yet and how he's not being recognised so far. He's absolutely flying around here at Imola as we move over to PSR Gordon coming in to Tamburello, maybe just on a back out now. Lynn look great into Tamburello, but he's going to keep the lap as much as he can. Definitely just maybe warming up the tyres a little bit more as he does go off the gravel and does back out of that lap. Meanwhile, DCRS Caesar on a lap coming in to Toza, no, not Toza, Piratella of 9 and into turn 10, no name, and into Acqua Minerale of 11, 12 and 13 into the right, fully flat out, break into the second right, a little bit of a drift as the car does not want to play ball into the second right-hander, up towards Valiante Alta now, right and into the left again, cut as much as you can and hop onto the sausage curve as much as you can, a little bit wide, but he gets away with it to DCRS Caesar, up towards Rivazza now of 17 and 18, into the left of the first Rivazza and into the final one and into Valiante Bassa of the straight. So here comes Caesar across the line. Can he go any higher than 12? And he comes across the line. P8 14.893 just slots him about 7 thousandths quicker than Cormac in the Red Bull.
Yeah, solid there for Caesar, particularly as he is driving for the Constructor Championship leaders, Aston Martin, who lead Alfa Romeo, if I can just find it quickly, there we go, by 45 points, but with FH and Evan, particularly FH, no disrespect to Evan, but with FH showing that pace, we could see that gap close down today, so there's a lot of pressure on Caesar. I'm sure he'll be proud of himself somewhat if he was able to just nudge Aston Martin over the line. The original lineup, of course, this season was Bad F1 Opinion, who left after the Mexican Grand Prix, Mexico City, and it was also TRT Seed, who has been racing on and off this season, so he's not obviously been the reliable one. And I should stop looking at standing screens, because Balera Fox has put in a 13. It's a 1 minute 13.8. You were talking esports pace. Wow.
Oh my goodness me. That is sensational from Balera Fox. 13.871. That's how desperate he wants this championship. That's how much he wants this championship and how much it means to him. ERL Franek also on a lap. He's a 10th up, about 2/10 up. Can he challenge Balera Fox? Can we see two drivers in a 13? Sorry, it'd be absolutely incredible as we did. As he comes into Acqua Minerale, into the first right and into the second a little bit wide. That's an invalidation. It was looking like a 13.8. It was looking like to match Balera Fox, and he's just invalidated. He will get another go if he pits in time, or maybe just tries to save the tyres for one more run. But he hasn't got time to probably pit in and do another lap. He's got 2 minutes left in the session as one of the Haas drivers, PSR Mac, on an out lap as well. FH4 just coming out of the pits now, but can he match that 13.8, that monster time from Balera Fox, and into the 13s?
That lap from Franek, his turn 9 Piratella was beautiful. Chef's kiss. I don't think he went lower than about 145 miles an hour there. He was right on the limit. Such a great corner. Really do like it. And speaking of turn 9, FRT Edgar's heading through there now. And it was pretty neat and tidy. He's not going to want to give this P3 up easily as he, whoa, hits the inside curb at turn 12 and up through turn 13. Just about keeps it going. He's lost about a 10th on his overall best, and he invalidates on the inside of turn 15 as well, so this one won't count either. We do tend to see a lot of the pressure falling towards the back end of the session. We have about 1 minute and 20 seconds left as there's an Alpine trusting El Plan and going off in the gravel over there.
Yeah, definitely. So not looking great for that driver. As Edgras just slowly coming towards the line. I think he's on in lap as well as Java has retired. That's a crash somewhere, as that is Enrix Adams going off the track on the wet compound tyres. There's been a massive crash. It's Verlies and Yard. What on earth has happened there? It's absolutely incredible. As FOT Heaven has also off as well. What on earth has happened here at Aqua Minerale? It's been absolutely terrible as Heaven has hit the wall. Absolutely incredible as FH is on a lap at the moment, coming in to Tambrello into the right, fully sending that Alfa Romeo as much as it can, as Bella Fox is on an out lap right now, but I don't think he'll get to the lap in any time soon. He's only got 15 seconds to do it, and into sector 1 he is. Era Franek also on a lap as well. Egros on a lap as well, but he is not going to complete it. He's about a second down already. FH444 will be the first of the line in the fast drivers. Into the left-hander. Venom has been disqualified for going the wrong way. What on earth has happened there? I will never know. Into the right-hander of Aqua Minerale.
Oh,
He's got a
Edgars!
little bit of trouble. That's going to hurt. That's Edgars. What is he doing? He's blocking FH444, trying to go for a slip. It's not how it's FH444. No. And that has definitely put off FH444. Absolutely. I'm not sure what Edgars is doing. He's going to try and give him the slip. It's probably not helpful for FH444. Definitely telling him to get out of the way. I would assume he's gone very wide, and that has ruined his lap, and he's out of the race. He's out of qualifying.
Back to Franek then. I mean, that was appalling what I've just seen. If that was an attempt at a slipstream or whatever I was trying to see, it's gone horrendously wrong, and those things can happen. But Franek will be next across the line. Can he get himself into the 1:13s? Can he be the pole that spoils the party? But he won't be, because he invalidated on the exit of the final corner. It was well and truly a 1:13. It wasn't going to be quick enough anyway. So Balera Fox, your rightful pole sitter, on a day where he needed it the most, unless I believe FRT Vince has already set his final flying lap. DCRS Caesar has touched the gravel a bit there, gets away with this lap. This may well be the last lap we see. He goes up into P9, and then Gorgon as well seems to be able to stay out there, but he's now retired from the session. So we have our order confirmed then. Balera Fox from Franek, from Edgars, from FH on the front 2 rows. Been a late drama there.
Yeah, absolutely. And just looking at this, it's an interesting stat to my eyes, I believe. If Balera Fox did that lap in a WRPC Tier 1, that would have put him P9 on the grid and ahead of Flourish Wires and Ruben Pedreño. That is absolutely just saying how incredible that lap was. Hats off to Balera Fox. That was absolutely incredible, as he is a rightful pole position. Here, Franek was up. He was on a 13.9, but just invalidated at the final corner, which has cost us that 40.092. Still monstrous either way. There was definitely more for the pole driver, for the youngster in the Alpine, but as Balera Fox on pole position at a night where he definitely needed it.
Absolutely. Really enjoyed that qualifying session. There might be as well late drama in the race with rain looming as well. Confirmation then about a second within that top 10, but Balera Fox dominant, and well, you could question his recent results quite easily, and you could question, okay, where's his podium spin this season? Oh, this is going to be so much pressure lying on his shoulders for this race. Can he hold on to that pole position? The start is going to be so crucial. Getting the end is going to be crucial, because FH is going to find himself in various battles if he's not careful, and you know, that can punt him off the track, that can punt him out the points, and Balera Fox need to capitalise with all 26 points if possible, and then hypothetical scenario, they go into the championship finale just 1 point apart. That is, you know, still possible, and that pole position could be still a turning point as we load in then. It is completely blue sky at the moment, but we'll keep an eye on that throughout the race, as it is very likely to change rapidly. But yeah, get your predictions in the live chat then. Simple yes or no question. Is FH going to take the title today?
I would definitely say, as just go back, there's an awkward silence there. FH444.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, there's a little bit of awkwardness as FH444 in P4 at the moment. It's not looking good as it stands on paper, but he definitely has the pace to do it on the soft compound tyres. Obviously, the bottom 11 will be on the mediums. We'll have a free choice of tyre range, and that is definitely everyone on the mediums. V2 Combat, the latest to switch to the softs onto the mediums, but FH444, if he gets those quick laps in, obviously wasn't helped by Edgrass's teammates going in to the slip, or what was an attempted slip. It was definitely not the greatest slip to any stretch of the imagination, which definitely hurt his lap time. But he's definitely going to keep going, as Better Fox says at this session. That is definitely what you want to see, going straight into the first lap, as I will quickly re-invite him now. Yeah, FH4 not looking great, but definitely can make some moves going into turn 1.
Just quick glance on the strategy, I should say. Top 10, of course, all starting on the soft compound of tyre. Everyone else that has a free choice, has gone for the mediums. So, are they going to try and get them as long as possible? Are they going to gamble on a few safety cars? Which, you know, could bring the rain period forward in terms of laps in this race. Same two-stop strategy at the bottom, which could be the choice, but with, you know, the rain, you've really got to argue towards a one-stop for slicks anyway. Doing two stops surely would cost you too much track time and track position, unless it's absolutely necessary. Bolero Fox's AI is just gone. He won't be able to take control until the very start, just before the lights go out. So, again, a bit more pressure for him to get things right. So just got to get his head in the game, get the start sorted. Could this be a breeze for him? We'll have to find out. Your final predictions, Jish?
Well, with Better Fox definitely going to have stone cold tyres going into this one. It's definitely not looking good. Straight off the bat, R14 looking definitely quick to try and take this win. Edgrass will definitely looking pretty quick, obviously. Maybe a little bit of an output, obviously, but FH444 will definitely be trying to win this Grand Prix as much as he can. Mac in P5 definitely pretty quick, but I think my bets to win the race is probably Franek. To win the title, I think that'll go to the final round of the season.
Brilliant. Perfect. Yep. We'll have to see who's right, who's wrong. I mean, only Surfy has said no. FH will not win the championship today. And, you know, based on these starting positions, he could well be right. But 32 laps ahead of us. Drivers getting into their grid slots now, ahead of the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix in Imola. Our only Italian race of the season. Monza did not make an appearance on this season's calendar, but we have returned to Italy here in Imola. Oh no! Oh, it's a disaster for Bolero Fox as the rest of the field are lights out, and away we go. Oh, that is absolutely heartbreaking. What's going on there? Bolero Fox has just not got anywhere. His car was wheeling it off the line as still through turns 1, 2 and 3 we have a race going on, and Franek takes the lead ahead of Edgars and F8, who was, I don't know, maybe let off a cheeky punch in the air seeing that happen, but he's still not gone anywhere. What is happening to the Haas?
It's gone. No!
Oh no!
Oh no! That is heartbreaking.
If this isn't a restart, we have a champion.
No way that has happened. That's so... No way. I can't believe what I've just seen. That is so cruel to happen. And it's happened not even 5 meters into the track here, and we already have a champion if this isn't restarted. But Franek takes the lead. Edgrass is in P2, FH444 is in P3 and will be champion. Nevertheless, what happens here? Mac in P4 with FH, what am I saying? Heaven in P5 with TLT Evan in P6. Caesar coming in P7 as Heaven goes very, very wide. Alaravats into the left and going back up into the line. Up towards the back straight. Franek with the fastest lap time with the 19.444. Caesar with the ERS of Does he try anything? But further up the field, Edgrass trying it round the outside of Frenick going into turn 1 to no avail. They're still battling as they come out of Zambarello. Edgars goes side by side with the young Poles. They go down the inside into Villeneuve. They're still side by side, these two. Edgars may have this going into Romances. They still go side by side. Edgars and Frenick separated by nothing. It goes a little bit of a Schumacher Montoya sort of thing as Edgars is through. Edgars is through just before Piratella. R Frenick has been demoted to second. FH4 way back on the field as that's the spin for the Mercedes. Just both the Mercedes of Evan and Verlies at the back into Toza, but Edgars takes the lead.
Rule number 1 in Formula 1, don't hit your teammate, but enough of that because Edgars has just pulled off a sensational overtake to overtake the young Pole who, you know, is here to support the party. There's still a long way to go. I'm just trying to seek answers really whether this will be a restart because I kind of have to know as the lobby host, but no one's popped up with an answer that actually runs things around here. Evan picks up a 10-second time penalty for corner cutting. Surely he's considering ending his race early. Mac sets the fastest lap. Mac is on the pace as well. One has disqualified. The other also in contention as DRS is enabled on this lap as Evan gets through on Heaven. And the other Evan, FRT Heaven, has now ended his race early.
Yeah, unfortunate for Evan just in that contact in turn 1 as Edgars still under much pressure from Frenick. He's absolutely flying at the moment, but can't really get into that special 1/10 of a second, I would like to say, to really pull off a move and really put the pressure on. But Frenick will be trying to press as much as he can. Verlies has retired as well. That is on track, or maybe a crash as the virtual safety car has been deployed. It is a track as it is a crash as the VSC is out.
Yeah, well, maybe this would give some sort of opportunity for a Java or a Gorgon to check the chat, but as we all know, if this does not, you know, get overturned as a race start, if you like, FH is the champion, and, well, it's kind of been ruined early. I've never seen anything quite like that. That was quite obviously a glitch. Got disconnected. Couldn't start the race, got disqualified for just sitting there. As the DRS is enabled again, we're back to green ever so suddenly, and Frenick to the inside of FRT Edgars. He's got the position, he's got the lead back before Variante Tamburello, and that is the restart of dreams for ERL Frenick as he retakes the lead of this race. Further back, Venom and Jav. Venom getting ahead of Jav, as we can see there for P13. Still, though, also another thing, Mac has overtaken FH. Does that matter at this moment in time? Not really. Again, still awaiting some sort of answer or, you know, response for this Valera Fox title loss, if you like.
Yeah, that's just so unfortunate. I think even if we were to have a restart now, I think it'd be a little bit too late. We're already 4 laps in.
Yeah.
So I think it may be a little bit too late, but that's just so cruel. And it's just so... I try to be as professional as I can. It's just so annoying when this sort of thing happens. You're battling for the championship, and just inconsistency by Codemasters once again, just ruining what is a greater title fight between these guys. It's just been ruined once again. It's so annoying. It must be so much annoying for the drivers than it is for the commentators. It's unbelievable, and it's just getting to a point now where it's just absolutely ridiculous. But we'll try and continue with the action as Egras still pushing on ERL Frenick. As DC Caesar tried something on Cormac to no avail as they head into Tamburello onto the exit. Caesar still closing in to Cormac, but to no avail still. Further field as well. What has happened there?
FRT Vince is, well, completely oversteered off the back of turn 4, but he manages to apply the brakes, and V2 Combat has spun around as well. I believe that's been a reset to track. This Ferrari is pointing back in the right direction. I think with a fully intact front wing. My opinion on this is that seeing Valera Fox stuck there, he was the man on pole position. You know, we've seen a lot of questions to the government this week, the UK government. I'm not going to go political, but it's the same sort of thing. Surely the people in charge, aka Jarv / Gorgon / whoever, maybe even FH you know, if he was sportsmanlike in this situation, would go, hang on a minute, he's still a championship contender, and the game has clearly allowed him to go nowhere. No one said a thing. No one's gone into the chat or anything and said, yeah, that's not fair, restart. But Cormac has spun around. Edgar's drops to third as there's a battle further on, as Mac gets up into second place, to the delight of, I can see Surfy in the chat for the Haas boys. One going strong. Mac, who had a great start to his season when he joined back in Austria, taking the race win, a P2 in Britain, but his results since: Hungary P6, Belgium beat P5, and then not a single point in the 5 races he's raced since, with 3 DNFs back to back to back.
Yeah, definitely is still a tumble on as Mac up into second, doing really well. Obviously, that slipstream and DRS on both Edgar's and FH4 definitely helped him out. FH4 down in P4, but he will not care where he finishes tonight, as he will be champion either way. But Mac definitely closing into R14 as they come into Valiante Alta and into Ravazza, and this could be a move going into turn 1 for Max. They enter Ravazza now. R14 is in front by only 3/10 though, as Pearson Mac just a little bit too wide out of the first Ravazza and into the second. He does get a fairly decent launch, but they're about side by side. They come into the back. He will get the DRS straight, and he's easily passed R14 with the DRS, easy as you like, as Mac takes the lead, and Franek is demoted to second. Delightfulness for the Haas boys. Mac leads the Imola Grand Prix, as there's yellow flags for the back. That's Cormac and Gorgon having a tumble in the final corner.
Mac is a very confident racer. We've seen it time and time again from him, particularly back in Austria, back in Great Britain, where he was just cruising for every overtake. You know, he did not hesitate to overtake. He did not hesitate to, you know, pick up the pace, drive to his absolute limits, and he's doing that just again. We're finally seeing the best of PSR Mac once again, and he sits, I believe, oh dear, like I said earlier, the numbers are all muddled up, so I'm not going to count, but he's sitting well within contention for a top 5 finish still in this championship. If he could go on to win, you know, a halfway through sort of driver joining this season, very great achievement for him, and back to his best, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So as I think Heaven has hit the wall. He does not have a front wing. He's going very slowly, so that might be an early shower for Heaven. Going into this one, we're down to 50, maybe even down to 14, as Franek does have the DRS on Mac, but is it just a little bit too late to try something going into turn 1? He's gaining and gaining and gaining. Is he going to try? He had a little bit of a look going into turn 1, but to no avail. He still remains in P2 as FH4 and FRT Edgars just gets shoved off the track there. Probably a little bit of just better racing there. FH4 does not get a good launch. Does he drive it down the inside of Toaster? No, he doesn't. Egros just has to still fit in, as FH4 getting very, very topsy on the power as they come in to Piratella now. FH4 still in the lead, in P3 at the moment, as Jarv gets a 3-second penalty. Franek is closing into Mac as they come into Aquamilaral. He's looking very, very tasty on the back of this ass now as they come into Valiante Alta. Allen with a 3-second penalty as they head into the right and into the left. A Mickey Mouse hop into the right and the left and onto the back straight into Ravazza, the final 2 corners of the track. Franek looking very desperate to try and get this move done. Into Ravazza they go. There should be a fairly easy move going onto the back straight for Franek. He's in that special 0.2 of a second gap towards Mac. DRS wide open immediately for Franek as there's yellow flags for the back. That's Gorgon, I think, in a wall. But here comes Franek. Switches to the left-hand side and easily does it. Does the flying Polishman. He's up into P1. Mac up into Mac down into P2. Edgars does retake his P3 from FH4, but they're still battling out of the exit of Tamburello. Switchback move almost for FH4. They go side by side going into Villeneuve. Does FH4 back out? Yes, he does, as Franek takes the lead. Mac in P2. Edgars in P3 as FH4 in P4.
Brilliant battle this is for both first and third at the moment. Edgars, you know, he's been doing really well to keep the now champion behind. I mean, again, still, it looks like we're getting nothing to all the viewers watching this, pretty unaware of what's going on at the moment. Edgars picks up a 3-second time penalty. I mean, Sam Cole, as much as he wants the best here. He's pinged for a restart. I don't think he means it at all, but obviously with all the drivers still going around, nobody's going to see it, so, you know, there won't be a restart. And, you know, if I leave and you leave, you know, people just think we're disconnected, so it's not an official decision if me or you make it. So we've just not made that decision. But here comes Mac again, and he does retake the lead again. Lap by lap, they just swap positions each time, and PSR Mac up into the lead once more. This is definitely still not going to be the final result. A long way to go in this one. NRX Adams making progress. He's on the medium tyres, and he is making great progress, like I just said, but he's got 3 seconds to catch on Evan. When the soft runners come in, he will take command of the race, and maybe a perfectly timed safety car could put him right in contention for a podium position.
Yeah, definitely. So, NRX Adams absolutely flying, and his lead is already passing Caesar moments ago as R14 still getting close to the back of Mac. They're just swapping left, right, and centre every single lap. Next lap, Franek is in the lead. Next lap, Mac is in the lead. Is switching either or as we go back to Adams. Definitely flying on these meters, already pulling 7/10 away from Caesar. He seems to be struggling on these soft compound tyres and looking probably to switch to the mediums in a couple of laps' time. These soft compound tyres will not last much longer, but Franek and Mac doing a very good job of saving their tyres. They don't really seem to be phased, already pulling 1.7 in front of Edgrass. And here comes Franek once again with the DRS and ERS available. So there's a yellow flag. That's Cormac going slowly as Edgrass is that's I mentioned before in the pit. Here comes Franek around the outside. There's still wheel banging as they go side by side. Franek takes the lead into Tamburello. That was brave. It was brilliance from Franek as he takes the lead, but Mac is not done yet. He's very low on ERS as they come in to Villeneuve once again, into the left and into the right. Franek does take the lead. That was brave. It was bold, but it was most certainly brilliance from the young Pole.
That was the closest they had got by far. It almost for a moment looked like Mac was just going to pinch Franek as much as possible, and we're just hoping that these two don't make contact, because it would ruin an otherwise spectacular battle. FH did come into the pits nice and early for a set of medium tyres. We'll see if anyone does respond on this particular lap. Franek and Mac are still, you know, have been pulling away from FH, have been pulling away from Edgars, and there's a spin in the background. I believe that's Cormac, who is now, of course, a lap down, so not a great day for him at all, as Franek rounded the final corner then, turn 18, or the final proper corner anyway, and he does dive. Oh, no, he doesn't. That was a dummy and a half. And PSR Mac back in the slipstream. He does not have much battery deployment to play with, but he uses whatever he's got left anyway, and he pulls to the right-hand side, and he's back in front of Franek every single lap, and that's not even exaggerating. These two are swapping positions like I don't even have a comparison for it. It is just extraordinary.
Yeah, this is great racing between these two guys. Obviously clear 9 seconds of a gap between themselves and RX Adams and P3. This is exactly the same as Verstappen and Hamilton. They're absolutely ploughing their way through the fields. Absolutely brilliant to watch as Franek still remains in P2 on the soft combined tyres, same as Mac in P1 as they come in to Aqua Minerale. Once again, Mac still leading the way. Both penalty free at the moment. More yellow flags further back. But just have a look at the warning situation. Franek with 1 warning, Mac with 2. So Franek can get away with 1 more, but Mac cannot as there's a crash further back. That is Cormac in a wall, which is unfortunate to see. Will there be a safety car? Yes, there is. So this will benefit Mac and Franek onto the mediums, and that is a pretty good send from both of them, as they can both pit onto a fresh set of mediums, and that is job done for the pit stop phases. They can easily get a free stop, and they will probably come out first and second once again.
I've never seen anything more cheap since 10p Freddos, but medium tyres going on as well for Mac. But NRX Adams, who was on the mediums anyway, he's got a decision to make, but he switches to the softs. So this is very interesting. He's going to come out in P3, by the way, as obviously there were a couple of drivers just in front of him that were heading towards their pit boxes. FH obviously pit early and has really been shafted in terms of race position here. Oh, actually, I take that back. He still returns in P4. So he's fortunate on that front. I thought he'd come off a lot worse than that. But, yeah, FH still within contention. And NRX Adams in P5. But on the soft tyres, what progress could he make?
Yeah, definitely is. Obviously, these are, I just want to point out for the people on the softs, they will have to pit again. No way will they go 29 laps on the soft compound tyres. Adams, Caesar, Allen, Venom, Jarv, and Heaven will all have to pit one more lap. So maybe going to have to try and wait for a second safety car to help them out for try. Maybe pit on another set of softs if there's another 10 laps to go. They will definitely help them out, but they will definitely have to go for another stop. Everyone else on the mediums and the hards, that's V2 Comeback and Gorgon. On the hards, will go to the end. I would assume easy 20 laps probably. On the mediums is fairly easy to do. But Max still at least away. Franick in P2. Edgras is in P3 with FH444. The champion in P4. Right now P3 from Edgar penalty. Adams obviously on the soft compound tyres now. Let's watch out for him. He'll definitely be electric further on if he was flying through the field on the mediums. And what can he do on the softs is absolutely brilliant.
I do have a weather update. No, not from the Met Office, from DCRS Caesar. He says rain in 10 to 15 minutes. So, is this cool for soft tyres? Is this obviously switch, which he had to make? He was never going to go on to another set of mediums with this weather scenario. Is this going to be a mighty switch for NRX Adams? Just going back to that, maybe he can pick off these guys one by one. Be a difficult task with the race pace Mac and Franek are showing, but you know, NRX Adams is capable of it too. We know that. I'm really intrigued now hearing that 10 to 15 minute claim, because obviously we're expecting it right on the back end as Heaven manages to speed under the safety car, so he must still have a delta, which is a bit surprising. So it's been a bit ruined on that front. Let's take a look at the time penalties briefly. 3 seconds for Edgars. That could well cost him a podium position, or, you know, at least decent points as they finish the race. But Caesar 3 seconds, Alan E 9 seconds, FRT Venom 3 seconds, Jarvon 3 seconds, Heaven now with a drive-through, so he'll lose about 20 seconds from that. FRT Vince on 6 seconds, and that is how we're looking in terms of penalties. We'll come back to that, of course, when we're in the closing stages, but that is how it stands under this safety car. Wonder if we'd be going back in this lap, because Gorgon has not got far to catch up, so maybe Burnt Mylander may choose to pull in late. I love how I always refer to the invisible drivers in the safety car as Burnt Mylander. Such an icon. Can't hate the guy.
You cannot. But I think we'll probably do one more lap, and it'd be very late if it does get called in now. I think we'll probably go for one more lap, but definitely interesting if rain is only about 10-15 minutes away. But I stand corrected, the safety car is in this lap.
That
so
is
Mac,
really late.
That is extremely late, definitely. As Mac gets away
He's gone already.
immediately. Franek tries to follow as best he can, but Mac does get a better start as NRX Adams already over the back. All over the back of FX444 as they try it down into turn 1. Can't quite get anything done. Neither can Franek into Tamburello's. There's more contact. There's further back. There's action. Allen is round at Tamburello. It's a big incident for him as he's already down at the back of the field. Franek really closing up and coming into Toast now. Does he try anything going into turn 1? Gorgon with a 3-second penalty. Franek cannot do anything going into Tosa, and it still remains the same as it did. And Adams really closing in on FH444 as well as they come in to Piratella. Can't quite get anything done on the soft compound tyres. They come in to Aquila. Can Adams do anything? No, we can't. It still remains the same as Edgar's. Had a little bit of a look on Franek, but to no avail.
Finally, for NRX Adams, he's got the exit, and he's going to go into the Variante outer side by side with FH. He has to back out, but he gets the cutback on the second part of the chicane, and it's a brilliant overtake from NRX Adams. 1 down, 3 more to go in this hunt for the race lead, but Max certainly would have been a bit caught out by that because it went in so late. Usually from there you'd expect another lap, but he's pulled 8 tenths on this restart lap. And Franek is going to be under pressure from Edgar Shorley, who starts to close in a little bit. DRS not enabled, of course, until the next lap. NRX Adams, let's try and see the difference in grip through there, but he runs wide. He runs very wide through turn 3, and he's lost a chunk of time because of that. And FH is now having the back of the Red Bull again.
Yeah, definitely. As Franek just seems to be a little bit off the pace from the safety car restart, probably not warming up his tyres properly, as the safety car did come in very, very late. So obviously he was expecting one more lap to try and warm the tyres properly, but it's going to come in early and probably hasn't warmed them up efficiently enough. So he's got a lot to do. As this whole train all the way back until around P10. This is a brilliant train forming at the moment on lap 16 as the safety, as the DRS will be enabled. Next lap, more yellow flags further back. That's Gorgon again having issues at the back with another spin as Vince getting close to Jav as well. Yav closing into Venom, and it's very, very close between all these guys as Edgar's is still looking at the back of Franek, who is starting to pick up a little bit more pace as the DRS is now available this lap on lap 17 of 32. A couple more races to go as that is Heaven in for a pit stop. That might be to retire. He does get a 5-second time penalty for speeding as he may come in to retire the car, but Franek still closing in on Mac as Edgar's is closing in as well. He's looking pretty much better. He's looking a lot better than Franek at this moment in time, but Franek still in P2. Mac absolutely flying away. 7 tenths is the gap between himself and Franek, so they're definitely looking good to try and pick up a win here.
Absolutely. I'm just thinking at the moment, I don't think we're going to see many risks taken, particularly from Franek and Mac, who, you know, have been having a ding-dong battle every lap prior to the safety car. I don't think they'll quite do that again as Heaven retires on track. This could cause another dreaded safety car, because now that we've got the race back underway, would be quite disappointed to have it neutralised again, but I think we're clear and it is green flag in that sector of the track. So a very quick recovery job over there, and Heaven has now left the session as well. So we're all clear to continue racing, and the fight resumes then. Will Franek take the risk and go for it? He is a long way back here, 6 tenths, but he sets the fastest lap of the race. He's got the DRS open, he's not using much overtake. Mac has done throughout the course of this race, and Franek closes rapidly. He's not quite able to make the move into turn 2 and turn 3. Variante Tamburello next up, of course. Villeneuve. Again, not really an overtaking spot, so may well stick behind for the rest of this lap.
Yeah, definitely. As Franek still closing in, as Diestra Caesar getting extremely close to Evan going into Tamburello, but to no avail as they still remain Evan in P6, Caesar in P7, Alfa Romeo doing well consistently wise in the constructors 5th and 6th FH4 wherever he finishes tonight. Even if it is a crash, he will be champion, so he will just be driving for a little bit of fun now as Adam's getting very close to Edgar's for the podium right now. He would get it on the podium on penalty, sorry, either way, but he definitely wants it on track as Franek getting closer to Mac than he has been in a couple of laps time, way before the safety cars. We enter lap 19 momentarily. Mac maybe under a little bit of pressure as they come into the final corner now, and Franek with the DRS available to him. Venom with a 3-second penalty. Does he use any overtake is the question. No, he doesn't. He still remains fairly healthy, 50%. Adams with the fastest lap. Here comes Franek in the slipstream and the DRS not quite close enough going into Tamburello, but does he get a good launch going into the back straight? It's about equal, and Max still remains in front going in to Villeneuve as Adams still can't capitalise on that P3 at the moment, but Max still in P1 at the moment, but Franek is definitely close behind and closing in on the Haas.
There's a great battle going on behind between the two Alfa Romeo, Caesar, Venom and Jarb all involved, as well as Alan E has now retired on the racetrack as well. He's had a spin, I believe, at turn 4, just like FRT Heaven did. It wasn't a safety car for Heaven, so I doubt it's going to be a safety car now, but who knows what tricks Codemasters will want to play to us. But yeah, like I said, Evan was really pushing onto the back of FH, who is really struggling at the moment. We could see a risk being taken by one of these guys. Oh, and Caesar runs wide. Venom's invited, and, well, he slows down Caesar, And surely he's going to let Jarve through here as well, because he's lost an awful lot of momentum by slowing down. Jarve up the inside, he backs out going into the final corner, which is probably the smart thing to do. Both of them still want to be able to stick onto the trade, but back to the fight for the race lead. And this is Franek's time. He goes to the outside, and he's finally got it done. The young Pole is back up into the lead of the race.
Absolutely.
And he overtakes PSR Mac. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, I thought you were done there. But yeah, 12 laps to go. Can Franek hold on? Mac just needs to stay in that 3/10 as much as he can. And he will retake the lead probably on the next lap, as there has been a massive ding-dong battle all the way through as Adams getting closer to Edgar's, but Edgar's making that Williams as wide as possible, so Adams cannot get through at all, and possibly very, very frustrated under that Red Bull that he's not closed up and not overtaken so far as Venom getting very close to Evans going into Aquamilla. Does he try anything into the right? No, he doesn't. Does he try anything to the second right? No, he doesn't. And onto the back straight going in to Valiante Alto. He gets a great run. Does he try it down the right? And it's very close, almost going off into the grass. He dives it down the inside. There's Venom. Bravery personified, but it hasn't worked. And Venom is round, and it's worked absolutely perfectly for Evan. Into P6 he goes, but Venom has been absolutely torrid time. Just takes the curve way too aggressively, and that is his fight for the top. Absolutely over as Franek with the fast lap of the Grand Prix. But as I said, Mac retakes it into the left. Easy as you've done. Mac retakes the leads as Edgars is still in P3. Adam's still in P4, but Mac takes the leads. Venom is at 11th as Caesar gets past Jarve.
I don't think I've seen a lead change as much between two drivers as much as I've seen tonight. This is absolutely incredible. Between two top talents as well, and that is why it's being kept so clean and so fair. Obviously, they've not really gone side by side too much, but you know, tactically, it's been a brilliant watch as well, seeing what the driver's getting up to as Franek actually gets a bit loose. Will this put him off one bit though to keep pushing? Not one bit. We've seen this gap already, about 6-7 tenths, and Franek just continues to close, continues to manage his ERS perfectly, as he's still doing there. As you can see, 57% roughly to Franek, about 15 for Mac. So that is the ERS front at the moment, as NRX Adams gets a great slipstream on the back of Edgars as the clouds continue to build over the circuit. Still the threat of rain, which about 10 to 15 minutes ago we were talking it would be in about 10 to 15 minutes. So that is what is up at the moment, as Adams finally gets up into the podium position, and they're going to go side by side, finally are they, into the second corner. Franek gets ahead for the time being, but Mac tries to swoop around the outside into 4. He has the run going into turn 5, but he's going to back out as Franek gets loose on the sausage curb, and through goes PSR Mac again.
That is absolutely incredible. That's Franek's first mistake of the day, and it's now brought in Edgars and Adams. Adams finally gets the job done into P3 as the clouds are getting very, very dark around this circuit now, and this top 4 has been brought into this battle. Absolutely incredible as Edgars just slowly losing the pace just ever so slightly, but Franek is still there in P2, but with that mistake may just lose him a little bit of confidence. Into Alta now, into the right, into the left. Caesar with another penalty, but Franek is closing in. Adams with a penalty in P3. That's going to hurt him a lot, but right now will still remain in P3. Will be try and fight on track as well, as it's practically fully overcast around this whole track now. The rain with 10 laps to go, looking fairly imminent at the moment, as Mac without the DRS, it should be another fairly easy move for Franek. Does he use the ERS? No, he doesn't. Mac using it as much as he can. Yava's retired. That is a crash somewhere. Franek gets the job done. Into turn 1 he goes, and into the lead he goes. Mac still remains in P2. Adams in P3 at the moment. Mac just losing a little bit of confidence out of the final corner of Tamburello, and into Villeneuve they go. Franek still leads. Mac into P2 as the clouds are getting very dark and the rain is imminent with 9 laps to go.
Franek will just not give up. The error he made on the previous lap has not stopped him once again. But, you know, you could argue the same for Mac as well. He is not giving up. It can be a massive just damage to confidence being, you know, overtaken when you feel like you can maybe prevent it. But Franek again just getting it wrong into Aqua Minerale, and PSR Mac in the slipstream towards Variante Outer. not really an overtaking point on the circuit. Bit too tight in there for two cars to go side by side. Down the hill they go again. Mac really, really close still. So you put a lot of money on him. Overtaking Franek here once again down the start-finish straight to start lap 24 of 32. We're about 3/4 of the way through this race as Mac pulls to the left-hand side and he gets the job done once again. It's hardly a surprise anymore at this point, but who cares? It's still been brilliant.
Absolutely, it's been a massive crash further on. That is Caesar retiring in the pit lane as he got tagged from Evan. I believe going into the final corners, we are now down to 10 with Franek really closing in. Adams in P3, really off the pace now. These soft compound tyres absolutely finished, you would probably think, if he's that far down now, about 9/10 of the gap, as Mac once again retakes P1 and retakes the lead with the clouds getting very, very dark, and I would expect rain in about probably a few laps left now as Yarv has left the session. But Franek, and that's a massive mistake! And that's lost him a lot of time now into 1 second as here comes Adams trying on the back. Franek loses DRS on the Mac. Now that was a huge mistake from Franek going in to the exit of Aqua Minerale. He just takes the curb too early as the rain has now fallen in Rivazza into sector 3. The rain has fallen. Franek without DRS, Adams with DRS. It's important that he gets this move done now with the DRS as much as he can. It's important he gets this move done onto the intermediates as much as he can. Here comes Adams with the slip choose. He chooses left or right. He chooses left down the inside going into Tamburello. Franek tries to fight as much as he can round the outside. They touch wheels. He's on the sausage curves. Adams loses out and then goes through to P3 with Hira Franek still in P2 but losing a lot of time to Mac as the rain is falling now and the intermediates are imminent here at Imola.
I'm gripping onto the back of my chair. It's just a roller coaster of emotions what we're seeing now. Franek making the mistake. Adams going up the inside into turn 2 at Tamburello. The two making contact. Adams having to save himself from spinning. It is all going on here and it's not over because, like you said, Inters are imminent. And, well, when? I don't know. We don't know. No one knows. But the timing is going to be so important. That could be decisive of who wins and who loses out in this race as Evan goes on to the Inters early. But as we know, he's got nothing to lose. Yeah,
absolutely. I think it's probably a little bit too early for the intermediates, but then again, yeah, he does have nothing to lose as Mac really gaining his advantage up top for P1. 1.6 is the gap now as Adams getting close to FRT Egggrass going into Tamburello. Is he close enough? F before in the pits once again has nothing to lose. He is the champion either way, whatever happens tonight as we come into the left and into the right. F before will be on to the intermediates. It's too early for the drivers really battling out at the moment as Adams getting close to Egggrass. The timings will be slowing down and down and down as who has the fast lap at the moment. It is Max, so he will take that 1 extra point going into the left. Adams very, very slippery at the moment, just between that probably intermediates weather at the moment, you would probably say, as it's a little bit slippery for the drives but not wet enough for the Inters. They come in to Aqua Minerale once again. Adams about 8/10 down as that's a massive mistake once again, drifting out of the corner. It's getting very wet around sector 2 now. It's definitely probably too early for the intermediates. You can still see the track very dry at the moment, but it'll be definitely getting a lot greasier around there. But Max still leads, but 1.4 is the gap now. He's gained it about 2/10 as Franek going into Rivazza now and still remains in P2 and without the DRS.
Max struggling off the back of turn 18 as he starts lap 27. We've got a yellow flag. It's for TRT Evan, and Edgars does come into the pits then for Williams. He is going to gamble on the intermediate tyres. This could be massive. This could work perfectly. We've seen how in the Codemasters F1 games the track can just wetten or get wetter in an instant. And so he's taken that gamble that may occur, and he's going to come out in 7th place. We'll see if that pays off for him. I'm not counting on it at the moment as NRX Adams very, frustratingly gets a 3-second time penalty. He's up to 6 seconds, which could cost him a shot at the podium. There's an awful lot of rain falling now, but the track is still dry. It's still a dry line as Evan is really struggling. So that is going to be evidence to these front runners who are passing him that it is not yet time, as Mac and Franek pretty much slide through Variante Outer. Just pray that there's still traction available to them on the exit. One of the slowest parts of this Imola circuit as Mac runs slightly deep as Franek closes up then. DRS is still enabled, of course, as Mac comes into the pits, as does Franek. It's time, according to our front runners. In they come.
Adams stays up, which is interesting. It's definitely, looking at the final 2 quarters, it is definitely time for the intermediates now. Adams decides to stay at 1 more lap. Edgar's with a penalty to boot as they come into coming into Ravata now to Zegras. He won't be in front of Mac and Franek. They still remain P2 and P3. Vince has come in as well. Venom is in as well. Combat in as well. Edgars comes onto the back straight, will not take Mac and Franek, but will boost up into P4, so he remains the same as he was. Franek now 7 tenths, 6 tenths. He's gained a lot into the pit stops from breaking very late into the pit stop stages, but now it's a straight fight as Adams has decided to stay out, but not he's losing a little bit of time, 2 seconds to be precise, but still 22 seconds up the road from Mac as he comes into Aqua Minerale now, just not really crawling, but he's definitely losing a little bit of time, but he may be getting close enough. I think it's about 25 seconds actually, so he will stay in P5 and definitely spinning, and he's gone very off track, and it's definitely cost him to try and stay in front now as Franek getting close as DRS is finally now disabled with about 3 laps to go. 4 laps to go, sorry, as Matt gets a little bit squabbly out of the exit of Aqua Minerale, going into outer. Franek all over the back now. It's about pure speed. It's about pure overtake at the moment. Mac has 75%, and Era Franek practically full on his battery at the moment as Adams finally comes in. The last one to pit onto the intermediacy coming into Ravazza now. Mac versus Franek will take the lead at the end of this into the final corner now. Mac 4 tenths in front to Franek. He will use his ERS. It's important now to use as much ERS and much slipstream as you can. Coming into Tamburello now. It has to be much quicker and have much closer going in to turn into the final corners now. Franek not quite close enough. He needed about 3 tenths probably going into the final corner now into the west. But into the exit of Tamburello, gets a good launch coming in to Villeneuve now. Still, Franek is behind going into the left and into the right. Max still leads, but it's a very close margin. Franek just a little bit cautious on the throttle. Then Mac going in to Tosa, and he still remains in P2 at the moment.
Mac there, it appeared like he was wheel spinning in 4th, 5th and 6th gear as he was accelerating. That just proving how difficult these conditions are. And, you know, when you consider most of these drivers are going to be on dry setups as well as, you know, all of qualifying, the majority of the race has been, of course, in the dry. But here comes Franek. He was getting really close into Variante Outer. He's closer than he has been so far in these wet conditions. Mac, it just seems like he's struggling a little bit more, and Franek has finally found a bit of momentum, and it's come at the perfect time for him in these wet conditions as around turn 18 they go. TRT Evan, who's been lapped once in this race, he pulls off into the pit lane. He's not going to be a distraction for these two. Overtake engaged for ERL Franek. Pure slipstream. Which way is he going to go? He's gaining, he's going to the right hand side, but he's now out of the slipstream, and so it's going to be a difficult overtake to make as he takes to the sausage curbs, trying to go the long way round. It was going to be a difficult one to pull off, and he wasn't quite able to do it. Just about 2.5 laps left to go now. Still, either Mac or Franek for the win.
Absolutely, is definitely just a racing incident there as Franek cut towards the sausage curbs. Corbin with another penalty at the moment, but Franek still in P2 with Mac in P1. It's definitely getting very heated between these two, and definitely round the outside is probably not going to work anymore. We see George Russell and Valtteri Bottas have that same incident in real life as George Morgan, what am I saying? George Russell smacked into the back of Valtteri Bottas as he just lost it on the grass, and hopefully nothing happens to the same as Franek and Mac with 2 laps to go as they get all scrabbled up out of Valiante out and onto the back. Franek about 6/10 back. He probably won't be close enough going into Tamburello. Big braking zone going into Ravazza. He gains about 2/10 at the moment, and into the final corner. Max seems to be a little bit struggling. Here comes Franek with the better exit coming into the back straight to Bassa. Here comes Franek with the ERS to boot, but he's not using a lot of it. He's fairly low, but Mac is lower. 4 or 5%. He's practically running on fumes with his battery with 2 laps to go. Into Tamburello they go. Franek just has to save as much battery as he can onto the back straight and get as close as he can. Into Villeneuve they go. Max still in front. Franek has a lot to do with these final probably lap and a half.
This is just proving that you need to be about maybe 2/10 to have pretty much an overtake guaranteed out of that crucial final corner. Just 6/7 is not cutting it without DRS. At the moment, 1.5 laps to go. Mac holding on for dear life. ERS low for both drivers now as Franek uses as much as he possibly can to keep, excuse me, touch with PSR Mac as they head up towards Variante Alta for the penultimate time in this race, using all of the curb on the left, all of the curb on the inside of both corners through the chicane there, and now down the hill they go again for a penultimate time. And is Franek going to be close enough? What's the gap at the moment? Late braking from Franek, about half a second separates them. He's closer than he was on the previous lap. ERS at the moment. Mac has got a little bit more to play with on this lap, but still not much. Franek using it at about the same rate as well. So both of them now low on ERS. This is going to be a driver's fight as we approach the final lap of this race into Tamburello. Max still out in front, which is crucial, but no mistakes can be made.
Absolutely not. As Franek getting close, going into Villeneuve now, into the left and into the right. Mac just slowly losing a little bit of pace on these intermediates. Franek just getting a little bit closer into toe. So this final, probably into Alta is probably his best overtaking move without accidents or mistakes happening. Coming into the final corner, final lap of Tosa and into Piratella. Max still leads at the moment going in to Aqua Minerale. No mistakes is crucial. Here comes Mac, does it fairly beautifully, but just losing a little bit of pace. Here comes Franek, a little bit of a mistake. Does he dive it down into the next hand? He has a little bit of luck into the final corner. Ravazza coming up. This is crucial for Franek. A penalty for Franek. Mac is going to win it. And Franek with the overtaking just over the line. A little bit too much. Has cost him this race. And even if he was close enough going into the final corner, it wouldn't have mattered. Mac wins the Imola Grand Prix.
He does, and Franek in a heartbreaking scenario comes home to take second place, but confirmation there as Mac takes the checker flag to win in Imola. It's Edgars versus NRX Adams for the podium, and on the penalty scenario, NRX Adams is going to come through from P11 to take third place. That is a race he can be proud of, but a P5 to P1 performance for PSR Mac. His race pace showing again, his second win of the season, and he goes into the final round on a whopping 87 points, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a great race as FH4 comes across the line to be champion. Unfortunate they didn't have a really big tussle in the race with Better Fox getting disqualified off the line in absolutely disgusting reasons due to the game, but that is the nature. We have had to realise this game, which is unfortunate to say, but FH4 brilliant all season. I'll try not to discredit it, but he was absolutely brilliant all season. Definitely the deserved champion, and he's finally the champion of ABS one more time.
The celebration there from Mac on the top step, dishing out 3 copies of F1 2021. Not that you'd want one, but he does so anyway. Yeah, here we are. Both of us have bought the game. Every driver here has bought the game. Yet still we criticise it daily. It's brilliant. But yeah, let's get the top 3 in then. And we will also get FH in to discuss his race. And now he's confirmed as the champion. There's no question about it. There was no restart. You know, gonna bang on about it. In the end, it was controversial. It definitely was, because Jarve pops back into the chat after his, and apparently you didn't know. Well, it was pretty obvious. 17 cars overtook him at the start, but I'm not here to cause controversy. I'm not here to point fingers or anything. Nobody deserves that at this moment in time. But we've been treated to an absolutely brilliant race between many top talents, and that's the main positive from this one. And we go into the final round, of course, at Brazil next week. Who have we got here then? We have FH and we have Franek. Let's get a champions interview in then first. And FH, ultimately for you, it was won on that very first lap. I'm not sure what your reaction to that was. I'm not sure how that changed your approach to the entire race. Maybe you'd want to explain that for us.
Well, yeah, I don't really know what to say. But yeah, it was unfortunate what happened to Bella. I was looking forward to a good race with him, but my mindset was still the same. I wanted to win today, so I was pushing a lot, but I just had no pace. I genuinely had no pace right here. I don't know what it is about this track. I have no pace here. So yeah. I don't really know. I'm just happy with on the title, to be honest. That's all I really care about right now. But no, I didn't change my mindset to the race, but I do feel for Bella because that is a really shit way to lose the title. Oh, sorry, I should have swelled. Sorry, forgot about that.
No, it's all right. So I've been bad enough when I'm solo. When I'm solo, I lose my mind.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that. I kind of forgot.
It's all right. Cheers, Ruben. I will ask you quickly, FH. That is a 6th consecutive top 5 finish for you. It's been an incredible turn from you in terms of consistency. Would you say that has been the deciding factor in this championship? I know it's pretty obvious, but
yeah. Beginning of the season was okay. I mean, I got a podium in Bahrain, that was kind of good, and then September and October was absolutely dreadful for me. Forget about that period. I was absolutely awful. Should have won an Austria, but we know what happened there. And then I don't know. It was just that break helped. That Belgium DNF just I didn't want a DNF again, so I was just making sure to never bin it again, and haven't done that since. So yeah, I'm just happy that I managed to stay consistent. Just get those even with the 2 P4 finishes in Zandvoort and Portugal, those are crucial. Then that win in Mexico as well, yeah. But, the second half really helped the season, but...
Consistency is my middle name, consistency.
That's some cap.
Congratulations to you, Finn. You
Thank you.
really do deserve it, no matter what happened on the racetrack today.
Yeah.
Jish, you've been quiet. You're never quiet for this long. Have you got any questions for our
Come on,
champion?
Jish. Surely something.
Well, I think she was absolutely dominant. I've watched a couple of the streams back and tuned into a couple of live. It's been a practically dominating season. A lot of great races for you, but definitely was this probably the toughest. Maybe in qualifying, probably not the toughest. Into lap 1, and probably pretty much easy sweeps for you on lap 1. Not even 5 meters in. But was that qualifying definitely difficult? Obviously, Bell taking pole position with a 13.8, which is absolutely incredible. Do you think was that possible in the end, even with the issues on your final run?
No, 100% not. Definitely not. It's sad to say that was one of my best qualifiers of the season, to be honest, because P4 ain't great in this type of situation, but that was generally one of my better qualities of the entire season. So, yeah. I think P4 was the max in that one. And then, yeah, as I've said, I do feel for Bella because the way he's lost this title is so unfair on him. It is really unfair. I think, though, I don't know what his race pace would have been like because he can be... I seem to be quicker than him in the race, so I don't really know what would have happened, but my race pace was absolutely dreadful today. So I think if he had stayed, then I think we would have had a title decided, but...
Did he get disqualified?
Yeah, he got disqualified. He couldn't like get
He-
control of his car or whatever. I don't really know what
he was
happened to him.
disconnected on the formation lap.
Mm.
Obviously, I think he was able to take control at the start,
Yeah, he got
but
back in.
it
Like,
jumped the start. He didn't move, but then he started moving at about 3 miles an hour, and obviously doing that you get disqualified. So,
yeah, like
I don't know.
I mean,
Because I saw him stop, but I just managed to avoid him somehow.
yeah, like I do feel for him though because that is
Oh,
the worst way to lose the
massive
title, 100%. But I don't really care to be honest. I've done I won this title. One of the slowest in TTs, and somehow I don't know how I've won it, but yeah, I'll take it.
Well, you have, and we've still got 3 more drivers to talk to. I'm sorry to keep everyone waiting.
Yeah,
but
sorry, I'm a
FH
bit of a
drivers
rambler.
champion. No worries, no worries. Don't you apologise. But let's talk to NRX Adams, who is back on the podium, and I have to say, Ruben, a great recovery drive, brilliant stint on the mediums. A very, very, very important switch to softs, which you capitalised on quite well. Got a bit nervy, perhaps, with the two penalties that you picked up,
Yeah.
and not pitting onto the intermediate straight away. Just how would you sum up that race?
I mean, the mediums felt good. I can't remember who was behind me on the mediums, but the other medium runner behind me, was it Alan? I think it was Alan. Managed to pull out their DRS, and then I was behind Caesar for a few laps. Kind of decided, because he was on the soft, so I decided I'd kind of let him see what sort of laps he could put in. And then he got dropped out of DRS and kind of just decided I felt a lot quicker, so used DRS, got past, and then decided I'd go. And then that safety car come out, didn't it? So I knew there was going to be rain, so I decided I'd go to the softs. But then I really needed that rain at the end, because I think I calculated it was like 9 laps left, and I was going to be on like 90% tyres at the end if I was to have stayed on them softs. So that rain helped me loads. Yeah.
Absolutely. Just one more round next week at Brazil. You've proven now that you can get a result. I know it's been perhaps a while for you, particularly in ABS, but any personal ambitions going into the final round?
Not really, to be honest. I think, to be fair, it's just kind of ABS. I just come back from work, see, only half an hour before the race. So I just kind of jump on, do some time trial laps, and get in the lobby, I suppose. But nah, it's just a bit of fun for me, ABS. So as long as I have an enjoyable race, I'm not really too fussed where I finish, to be fair. So hopefully a good result though. So seeing as it's the last season as actual ABS, and I've been here since start of season 3. So yeah, hopefully it'll be a decent race.
Certainly be
Yeah.
certainly be an emotional one next week. As transitions change, people have their opinions. I'm not going to comment too much at this moment in time because who knows where the league will go, what will happen. But Jish, if you are still about, I can't let you be this quiet for too long. You're never this quiet, like I said. But have you got any quick questions for NRX Adams?
Well, I guess it was a great race from you, Adams. It was definitely a very tight one. With the double softs first safety car you put on, it was definitely gamble. Obviously, were you just waiting for the intermediates or waiting for another safety car?
Yeah,
what was the mindset there?
I had to hope for something, because I was going to try take the softs to the end if I had to. Wasn't really much other option. I'd rather just try get the podium than just settle for a few points. But no, I was definitely hoping for the rain to come. And then normally I'm quite slow in the rain, but somehow I managed to keep it pretty consistent until the last chicane of the race. I nearly lost it and binned it, nearly give Edgars the podium. But yeah, nah, the inters were nice. Felt good.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, very well done and great podium.
Cheers.
All right, ERL Franek then, who was hoping to be the young pole that spoiled the potential party today, but I have to say, what a race from you! What a battle! What a fight you put up with PSR Mac. There was a couple of mistakes though, just towards the end of the race. You were just getting a bit loose at some corners, and ultimately you've just missed out as well with a late penalty at hand. Can you still be proud of your performance today, or did you want that win?
I think that win was a battle, but I honestly think I can be proud because I remember at the start of the race, like middle of the race on soft stints, I was driving behind Mac, and while he had less than 10% of battery, I had 60%. So I was pretty proud of that. That I was able to save up so much. In the end, safety cars kind of destroyed my battery advantage. But yeah, I think the win was there, but it's not the end of the world. I'm tier 2 driver, so I'm happy to be on the podium.
A tier 2 driver who has got a win and 2 second places in 4 races that you've done. That is a record you should hold your head up high about, and you are going places. I'll tell you that. I'm not going to spend too long on that, as I will quickly hand it over to Jish to see if he has any questions. But what a performance from you once again. You can be really proud of yourself about that.
Thank you.
Yeah, just quickly, Frank. Yeah, not sure how you're in tier 2 still, but there we are. It's not me to comment on that. I think you should be probably tier 1 because you're absolutely a brilliant driver. I've watched you grow and grow. I've raced against you as AB Solid, but it's definitely brilliant to see you grow to a driver you are now. You've definitely got a bright future ahead of you. So yeah, just hopeful for what happens in the future, and hopefully big things happen around the corner.
Yep, I hope so as well. Yeah, very good race. GG's to Mac. Very good fight.
Absolutely, and we'll talk to that man now, PSR Mac, who did join us, albeit a bit late, but he has arrived. Our race winner is here, and your thoughts on the fight with Franek then today? Obviously, it was ding dong between you two. A lot of pressure either way. Was that just, a great example of league racing from your perspective? And of course, reflect on the win.
Well, I think him having more ERS helped, but to be honest, I just kept 30% because if I needed to drain, I could drain quite easily. So I think I used a lot more ERS and kind of made it count, if you get what I mean. And then safety car in the rain, brought it back up again, and I dropped my front wing, start the race by 1 to 9, so I was running 9.8. So I was quite quick on the straights, so I didn't really need as much ERS.
Yeah, and well, obviously you came in at Austria this season. You took a win. You went to Britain, took a 2nd place, and since the results haven't quite been there, but we know you as an aggressive, aggressive clean, if you like, driver. The results haven't quite been there, but you've turned up the heat today. You're back on top, and is that just reflective of practice? Is that just reflective of just overall commitment? I'm not really too sure because there's always different scenarios with drivers.
I don't know, last 2 races I'd have to leave early because of the restarts.
All right.
Because I
Yep.
have TRT event, like now, like 10 past 8. So the last 2 I've run, which was annoying, that could have been top 3, both of them. And I don't know. First 2 races, I went from 18th to 2nd in Britain in the wet. But I don't know. I've just been a bit unlucky, and just probably not played the game enough. But I'm playing it a lot more now, kind of trying to improve rather than just like mindlessly playing on time trial.
Absolutely. Congratulations on your race win, Jish.
Thanks.
Final questions from you to our race winner.
Yeah, Mac, it was a very good race for you. Obviously, you had Franek really close behind. Pretty much every race, it was practically ding-dong going into every turn one, almost pretty much 1 minute. The race lead changes, and then the next it changes again. Did that ever get to you? Do you think that you could probably get away much more, or even without the penalty on the final lap? Even do you think Franek would try and go for the move? And did you think the win was ever out of doubt at any point?
Well, in karting, it's always back and forth because no dirty air and stuff like that. So I wasn't really too worried when he overtook me because I know it'd be even easier to get back in the lead. And with defending, I'm usually quite good because I just park it like I did with lap 30. If you just go on the inside in the wet, they're not going to get past. So I wasn't too worried as long as I could just stay slightly ahead on the straight. As long as I was side by side, I think we were fine.
Well, congratulations, you are the race winner. Well deserved, and good luck for the last race of the season in Brazil.
Thanks.
Clean, it was composed, it was brilliant from Mac and Franek today in particular. NRX Adams joining the two on the podium. We've been doing interviews for about 10-15 minutes, it seems, so let's put that to bed. Let's invite you to watch the season finale next week at Brazil. We have our drivers' champion, and it is going to be the last ABS race as we know it, of course. You all know by now, it has been announced that HFRL and ABS will be combining, will be merging, and obviously all the admin, commentary, graphic stuff that comes with it. So, new era will take place in the new year. So, yeah, it will be an emotional time, I'm sure, for people that have seen the league as it is. But we do invite you to join us and do watch the rest of the races around Imola this weekend, of course. And that Abu Dhabi thing that's going on Sunday, not quite sure what that's all about. But
No,
my thanks
overrated.
to Jish. Overrated championship. Not a real championship. Everyone should be watching F2 at 8:10 tomorrow morning. I think it is on Sky at least. So, yeah, watch that instead. Oscar Piastri is far better than Lewis Fraud-Milton and Max Fraudstappen. They're all frauds.
How can you
Nicholas
separate, how
Latifi
can you
is better.
separate two fan bases in a couple of seconds?
If you just call everyone bad, then it is what it is. But again, my
Oh,
thanks to Jish.
Wait. I just found
oh.
your strategy. You're just if both Lewis and Max fans would just argue against you, so they become one team. Very clever.
Whoa.
There you go.
I don't think Lewis
Okay.
fans can work with Max fans. That's kind of impossible.
Don't think
I'm
I'd
only
ever-
joking. I know plenty of Max fans.
To be honest, I probably couldn't get along.
There's plenty in FLT. They're all legends.
Oh dear.
Speaking of FRT, where is my sponsorship? The amount of time we've had to say FRT, FRT, FRT. You're bloody everywhere.
Oh dear.
It's a,
You've had to
like-
take that up with them.
I'm gonna contact via the Twitter in a minute. But like I was saying, my thanks to Dish. Brilliant as always to work with him, and yeah, certainly it was a brilliant race to commentate on. That's for sure. But until next time, thank you for watching.